Ladies and gentlemen, and fight fans around the world, this is All Access MMA.
We got the Flash back on the program. Jared Gordon, who's going to be taking on Chris Fishgold at UFC Fight Night on July 15th. Jared, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well. Just counting down the days. So here we are.
Yeah, it's good to see you get a fight rebooked. I know you're supposed to fight on May 16th against Matt Sales. I was going to ask you, actually, why are you not fighting him? Was it just they wanted to get an international guy in there, or what was the reason you're not fighting Matt Sales?
When he first pulled out, I didn't get a reason what happened. I just thought it was due to, COVID. He lives in San Diego, I think. So, I know California has some pretty strict lockdown stuff going on. Then when the whole fight got scratched, we had asked again, and apparently he got injured. So, yeah.
Still a good opponent in Chris Fishgold, and we'll talk about the matchup in a second, but we haven't actually talked since COVID started. How has your day-to-day been impacted being down there in Florida?
Well, we've been open. Now we're seeing an increase in cases. I think there's a million reasons why the cases are going up, way more testing. Obviously, they were probably expecting a spike in cases once they open back up. Everybody's back in the beaches, the bars, the restaurants. So, of course, there's going to be community spread. So I think they were expecting that. But apparently now, more of the people that are getting sick are younger. It's probably a good thing, even though it's a surge in cases. Not as many people are being hospitalized and or dying. So the older population apparently isn't testing positive as much as they were. Now it's just younger people who are even asymptomatic, and they're just out and about, so they're getting it. So far, the gym's been open. They just put some more rules that no matter where you are, you have to wear a mask unless you're working out or certain other conditions, but it's been pretty normal.
Okay. Well, that's good at least. It's good to have some normalcy there. Are you worried at all about the COVID stuff? Especially being in Florida, like you said, the cases are still going up?
Yeah, for sure. At first I wasn't, because, we were closed, everyone was quarantining, the cases were slowing down, everything was looking good, and then we reopened, and then we didn't hear about the surging up until about last week, I guess. But you know what? I think they kind of make it look like a lot worse than it is, because a lot of these private laboratories that are testing people, they'll test hypothetically 20,000 people in a week, and they don't release those numbers, and then one day they just dump all those numbers at once. So, the spike goes up. So it's I think there's a lot of miscommunication, and, through so many different testing protocols, and when they release stuff, who's releasing stuff, hospitals are giving out information, everyone's giving out different information. So I think it's all skewed and messed up. But, I'm definitely concerned because, I don't want to get sick. Obviously, we saw Matt Frivola, one of his cornermen had it, and they wouldn't even let him fight, even though he had a negative antibody test. So, I'm concerned. I don't want to get it. I don't want to spread it to other people, and I want to fight. So,
No, all the power to you. I know things are a little chaotic over there in Florida. One of the things you and I always talk, and it's something that people obviously know, is that you're always there to listen to people, especially when it comes to struggling with addiction. How have you found things since the quarantine started, since the pandemic started? Do you find that more people are reaching out now? Because I know a lot of people are out of work, a lot of people are they're sick, or they have family members that are dealing with this. Have you seen an increase in your DMs or just people reaching out in general?
So I was getting a lot at first. It's kind of slowed down now. I think everyone feels like we're kind of back to normal now in a sense, or people are just getting used to, quarantine and, dealing with all these restrictions. But no, it was spiking also. And I heard a lot of people were going back to their old ways, and I saw some people die. Not that I know anyone too close that died, but friends of friends. But I mean, honestly, that drug world, like, it never ends. It never stops, no matter what. So, like, I think those same people probably would have died anyways eventually. So, I mean, it wasn't that much of an uptick, but I was definitely on the lookout.
Well, you're doing a great job, and like I said, doing some awesome work with that, Jared. I think it's such a positive message that you're sending out there, that, to talk about these things and hopefully help people, deal with these addictions. So I think that's great. Let's talk about Chris Fishgold, though. How do you feel like you match up against him in this fight? He had some good credentials coming into the UFC, but I know it hasn't sort of been ideal for him since he's arrived.
I think, he's obviously a tough guy. He's in the UFC. He's had some ups and downs. I think stylistically, I match up with him really well. We kind of almost have a similar style, I would say. I think I'm better everywhere. And I think even though he has more fights than me, I think on the regional circuit I faced some better fighters, some tougher competition than he did. And then in the UFC, I know I fought guys that were better than the guys that he has fought. Not that means anything, obviously, but I think all around I'm better everywhere. And, he's got some skills, obviously. And he could be dangerous. I just have to play, a smart game and do what I do. And, obviously get my hand raised, so.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this fight is at featherweight, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Gotcha. So how's that been going for you? Because you haven't fought at featherweight in a while. I know when you're at Rufus Sport, they wanted you to fight at lightweight. Now you're down at featherweight. How's the cut going?
It's good, man. Obviously have to dial in the diet more, and my work load hasn't really gone up. I'm still doing the same amount of work that I normally would. It's just the dieting and the amount of time that I have to diet, So, but I've been training for fights since I've been in camp for like 12 weeks. So, for a little, like after the sales fight got canceled, I kind of went back to regular eating, but I didn't shoot back up in weight, so that was good. But it's gonna be tough, but I'm gonna do it, and that's the bottom line.
Are you using like trifecta or like a nutritionist or anything like that, or is it just sort of doing it on your own?
So I always use a nutritionist, the Lockhart guys,
nice.
Ian Larios, Eric Pena always help me out. I had spoke to someone else that Marcelo Ferro, his name is, Gilbert Burns, Herb Burns uses him. He showed me some stuff, gave me some information. Anything that I could take from people, I will. But none of them are going to be able to go. So the PI apparently is going to be there with the trifecta group. So I guess I'll be, eating that food. And I got people, obviously, that are going to help me cut weight when I'm there, my teammates, cornermen. So I'm not really concerned with that.
Okay. That makes sense. Now, as far as you talked about it there, obviously you're at a new camp now for this fight. Sanford MMA, right? Is that where you're training?
Correct.
How has that been? How's that transition going from Rufus Sport to training there?
It's great, man. I really love it. They have an amazing thing going on at Sanford. Sanford Health is like an orthopedic health group, and they teamed up with Henry Hooft, and they created Sanford MMA. So we have an amazing facility, state of the art, everything you can imagine, and it's been amazing. I have great teammates, a lot of high level wrestlers, obviously high level jiu-jitsu guys. Some of the best fighters in the world are down there, and every day I get a great look. Like one day I'm training with Gilbert, one day I'm with Herbert. I could train with Robbie Lawler one day, or I could train with Logan Storley, who's a freak also. Adam Borix. We have some guys at one, Ong Long and Tio, and we got a lot of really good looks, and we have guys in PFL. We have a huge team, and the coaches are amazing. I think, for me, first of all, I love Rufus. I love everyone there. I love all the coaches. I left on great terms with them. I owe them, they helped me, but I believe it was kind of like a segue in my career where I was with Rufus Sport. It got me to certain points. I had some ups, I had some downs. I got to where I am now, though. I got a new contract under Duke. I won the fight after that. Then I took a chance against Oliveira. I lost that one, but if I didn't lose that, I would have been ranked at 55. So I believe, I had to lose that in order for me to make the drop to 45, which is truly where, I believe I belong. So, but I think Hard Knocks, or I should say Sanford, is more my style of fighting. Way more grappler, heavy grappling. We're constantly grappling, and obviously Henry's, world-renowned kickboxing coach, and we learn from some of the greatest kickboxing. One day Henry will show us something, then we have Tyrone Spong showing us certain stuff. So I'm getting looks from all over. Them got Greg Jones, Kami Barzini, who are the grappling, MMA wrestling coaches. I pick their brains all day, show me a lot of great stuff, which I think, I know I'll show on July 15th when I get my hand raised. And it's been a great transition for me. My fiance lives down here, so everything's all in one spot. I don't got to travel back and forth, so it's been really good.
How's the vibe at the gym with Kamaru leaving and going to train with Trevor Whitman in Colorado? I know obviously everyone gets along, but have you felt things have been different since he's left?
No, not at all. No one really gives a shit. It's business to Gilbert and Kamaru, and Gilbert deserves to fight for the title. And if someone turned around right now and said, "Hey, Jared, you want to fight for the title?" Sure. I'm not going to say no. So I think, you can't be loyal to a fault. I think, I don't know if it ever was going to happen, but Rory McDonald and George St. Pierre, I'll never fight George. As if George gives a shit about Rory McDonald. I mean, I'm sure they're friends, but...
No, I know what you mean. It's an individual sport at the end of the day, it is.
Yeah, if you have the opportunity to fight for a world title, how many times are you going to have this opportunity? So I think no one cared. They're also managed by the same guy, and Henry didn't want to be in the middle of it. None of the coaches are in the middle of it. Kamaru left, and Gilbert's training with us, but Henry's not cornering any of them. Neither are the other coaches. So they have their own cornermen and their own people cornering them. So, and no one even talks about it. We just go about our day, and like you said, it's an individual sport. I don't give a fuck. Fight your mom if you want. I don't care.
Let me ask you this then, just because you're talking about it. Obviously, this is a silly question; it would never happen. But if you had to fight Paul Felder for the lightweight title, would you fight him?
Yeah, I think he would fight me too for the lightweight title. That's the only time I think I would fight him, though, unless we had a falling out or something.
Which I think is pretty hard. You guys are both pretty nice guys. It'd be pretty tough for that to happen.
Exactly. He's one of my close friends. I was FaceTiming with him this morning. He'd probably be pissed if he heard me saying this, but
right.
I think he would fight me too, and we spar every day in the gym. We punch and kick each other in the head every day in the gym. We might as well punch and kick each other in the head and get paid for it. We do it for free every day. What the hell's the difference? Whoever wins, wins. You
talked about, some teammates helping you out with the cut. Who's actually going to be in your corner for this fight? I was curious.
I got Kami Barzini, Greg Jones, and Herbert Burns is going to corner. Yeah, Herbert's one of a big main training partner that I've been training a lot with. I was helping him a lot with his fights. We meet up on our own, me and him. We drill together. He's super cool. We're friends now. We're good friends now. And so he's cornering his brother, but he's going to stick around for me also. So
very cool. That's awesome. How do you see the fight playing out on July 15th?
I see myself either winning on the feet or on top on the ground. I don't think it's going to go the distance. See if I'm not going to call around, but I think I'm a lot better on the feet, and I think, well, I know I'm better on the ground too. So
after this fight, is the plan to try and get a quick turnaround if you come out unscathed? Because obviously, I know you want to keep active.
Yeah,
but...
that's the turn. I gotta get back in there right away. Think this is gonna be my year, and I'm so disappointed with how my career has gone so far in the UFC. I just not where I was expecting to be, and I know that now's the time. So
great. Okay. Any new hobbies during the quarantine, or have you been keeping busy?
Not really, dude. I've just been.
Well, you mentioned movies. Any TV shows you're watching? Anything like that?
I did pick up. I started a while ago. I picked up biking.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I got like a triathlon bike. I hurt my lower back though, so I haven't been on it in a little bit. So I can't be hunched over, But man, I fucking love that bike. So that's been cool. But no, not really, man. Just same shit. Like, I'm not trying to go out that much, so I've just been in here and I'll just train, come home, relax, eat.
The life of a fighter, as they say. You mentioned biking real quick. Did you see that Lance Armstrong documentary that came out recently on ESPN? Did you catch that?
I think I saw part of it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
But I've seen
the whole thing.
Man, I've seen like every Lance Armstrong documentary, and I'm a huge fan of his. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Yeah, he cheated. But the guy was dead basically, so I can't really blame him.
Well, and everyone was doping, right? Like, that's the thing. But I guess people hated him more because of the whole, he was using it to promote, obviously, like Live Strong and all that. But again, I think he had good intentions.
But he also, man, what I always think about is the movie Dodgeball at the end when Peter's sitting at the bar and he's like, oh, I quit. And he's like, oh, quit? He's like, when I had brain, lung, and testicular cancer, he was basically, he talked about his problem. He's like, but I didn't quit. He's like, but I'm sure you have a good reason. And that every time I can, I'm a fan of his forever, Lance Armstrong.
Okay, good to know. I always learn something about you in these interviews. It's always interesting. Yeah. Jared, thanks so much for the time, man. Always good catching up. And anything you want to plug, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, the floor is yours, man.
Sanford MMA, big plug right there. So right, they hooked me up. And I don't know. I'm sure I got some other ones I just forgot.